Good evening. Welcome back to the Celtic Way. I'm Tony Haggerty at the Haggerty10 on the X or Twitter handle, and I'm joined by Ryan McGinley at the Ryan McGinley on the X or Twitter handle, live from Glasgow after seeing Celtic rout Raith Rovers. Ryan to claim a quarter-final place. Job done. Celtic 5, Raith Rovers 0. This is the live full-time reaction. Daizen Maeda putting on another show, Ryan. A treble from Daizen Maeda. Goals from Luke McCowan and Yang as well. It was all clever stuff, it's all simple stuff. But said it the other night, Ryan, just give Daizen Maeda the Player of the Year trophy now, eh?
It's Daizen Maeda's world, and we're all living in it at this moment in time, especially if you're of a Celtic persuasion. Just been absolutely brilliant in the past few weeks. And I was doing my player ratings, as I always do, during the game. I gave him 9 out of 10 last time out. I had to give him one more today. He was absolutely flawless for 90 minutes. So versatile. He can play on the left, he can play on the right, he can play through the middle. One thing is for sure, Daizen Maeda, and Brendan Rodgers said it, he is a goal scorer. He knows where the goal is. He knows how to score all different types of goals. I think he scored every variation of a goal in the past week or two. But yeah, he's just been absolutely brilliant. But I've got to give a special shout out, and I want to make sure that I do it as early as possible. I thought that was Yang's best performance in a Celtic jersey today. I know it was against Raith Rovers, lesser opposition, being in the Championship, but I thought he was immense today, and he deserves the flowers that will be coming his way after that good performance. A goal, 2 assists, but as soon as Maeda scored that third goal, you knew where the Man of the Match award was going. It was only going one place, alongside the match ball. That was Daizen Maeda's trophy cabinet in his house, probably.
Daizen Maeda does know where the goal is. He get that excited that he threw himself into the net for the treble goal, Ryan. He ended up in the back of the net as well. But yeah, as we mentioned at the top of the programme as well, he already had a hat-trick against Livingston in the Scottish Cup. So there's another one. Yep, I'll give you Yang as well. A tremendous finish for Yang and 2 assists. So yeah, allowing for the opposition, I guess you could say that was Yang's best performance. You did say that. You got that in early. But yep, yeah, need more like that from Yang, don't we, against better quality opposition, obviously. But hopefully that does his confidence levels. The world are good. But the result was never in any doubt for me after 5 minutes, Ryan, when that Daizen Maeda sticks that away. The only blip on the landscape was a potential injury to Paulo Bernardo, who looked like he rolled his ankle and limped off, but here's hoping he's not did any lasting damage, ligament, stuff like that. But that would be a blow to Brendan Rodgers, despite the fact that Bernardo's only played a bit part in recent weeks. He's still a vital member of that squad. But you're talking about Maeda. That's that quality that we're going to miss on Wednesday night, isn't it, Ryan? It really is. It's a big miss for Celtic on Wednesday night, him being suspended for the Bayern Munich playoff round first leg.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you know, it's so disappointing because he's Celtic's best player at the moment, and it's the biggest game of Celtic's season, definitely in Europe at the moment, against Bayern Munich. You want your best players to come in and be playing, and unfortunately he won't be playing in that game. But he ran himself into the ground, and it was just a great performance. I just realised there's a bit of a crowd coming, so I'll just mute the mic.
21 goals, Ryan, and that's a half century of goals for Daizen Maeda as well. He chalked up his 50th today. Yeah, I can see the crowd behind you. Here's hoping they're not singing too much. I'm getting in the way. But yeah, I mean, that's a brilliant return for this season, Ryan. But great to see him hit the milestone half century as well. Good on him.
Yeah, absolutely. Was that Maeda that we're talking about, the 50 goal?
Yeah, Maeda, yeah.
That was his second hat-trick of the season. I believe he scored one against Aberdeen at Hampden in the League Cup semi-final. Just been an incredible season all in for Daizen Maeda. But I see a player that's improving game on game. He's improving under Brendan Rodgers. Rodgers has got this knack of improving.
That surprised you?
No, not at all. Because you're even seeing improvements from the likes of Yang as well. Players that have been at the club for a while now, but they're going on to that next level under Brendan Rodgers. Absolutely brilliant to see. I'm delighted with the way tonight panned out, because these games can become a bit of a slugfest sometimes. You get one team defending for 90 minutes. You're trying to break the team down. But I thought that all of the players played their part, that we had a good an impressive showing from Daizen Maeda, who got 90 minutes. I was worried he might have got taken off after 60, 70 minutes. That's great management from the manager, and allowing him to stay on the pitch for the 90 minutes and enjoying the win alongside his teammates. It was Scales that was getting put out wide to left back. And the lesser spotted Mike Nawrowski makes an appearance as well. So when's the last time that happened? You probably need to look back in the archives for that happening for that particular player. But it was good to see him. But also, if it wasn't just for the goals, and I know he did score, I thought, look, McCowan again was absolutely immense for the duration of the game. He is a connector. He connects the midfield to the attack. There's an argument to say that he should be playing more games for Celtic from the start. The way that he plays, he's energetic. He reminds me a bit of Maeda, not just in the hairstyle, because the two I do get mixed up. I do get mixed up a couple of times with the fact that that bleached blonde hair. But he's like a midfield version of Daizen Maeda because he's always on the move. He's always trying to make things happen. And most importantly, he is always positive with everything that he does. Everything that he does in the team, it's as if he's got a lease of life in that Celtic midfield. Yeah. He's got a license to thrill, a license to go forward and make things happen for Celtic. I thought he was absolutely brilliant tonight.
You mentioned him as well. Now, I know it's Raith Rovers, but I look at somebody like Dane Murray and he looks the part. He looks like a central defender, right? Now, granted, the opposition weren't up to much cop today in an attacking sense or in the last third, but he looks like he's benefited from that really impressive spell that he had with Queen's Park, and he's come back a better player. And as I said, I didn't want to judge him on that cameo at Villa when he made the mistake that led to the fourth goal. But I looked at him today and I thought, do you know what? I can understand why Brendan Rodgers thinks there's a raw talent there. The raw ingredients are there because he looks every inch a footballer, Ryan, or every inch a defender. He's 6'4". There's a presence there. He can pass a ball. There looks to be a bit of robustness, but physical strength. So I'm hoping that this guy, this young player can really make a push, and challenge the likes of Cameron Carter-Vickers, Austin Trusty and Scales and say, right, I'm here. And the manager's clearly noticing because he really rates him. He thinks he's a talent. And I liked what he brought today. When you see these guys getting a game, you want to notice them, and I noticed them. And I also noticed Jeffrey Schlupp, just every inch a footballer, and he's got pace to burn. He looked very composed. A couple of times he gave Yang a bit of stick because he was telling him where to go, and that's that using all that big game experience that he's had as well. So I liked what they two brought today, Ryan, and I think there's a lot more to come from Jeffrey Schlupp because he was just roaming around and ably assisted by Luke McCowan. The two of them, I thought, when he drifted into the kind of inverted midfield, he was linking the play well too. So lots of things to enthuse about, Ryan, from, I wouldn't say it's a makeshift team, but a rotated team from Celtic and the manager.
Yeah, absolutely. Just on Dane Murray, I'm so glad that the narrative has changed surrounding this player because you think about him making his debut against Midtjylland and Ange Postecoglou's first competitive game in charge for Celtic. Yeah. Then he kind of goes out of the team because Starfelt comes in, Cameron Carter-Vickers comes in. You've got that great partnership between the two. Then all of a sudden, when he's playing for the B team, he has a cruciate injury. I think he had 2 cruciate injuries in as many years. So it's been a dreadful time for him. But he's changing that narrative. The narrative is shifting from Dane Murray, and I think the ceiling is very, very high for him. I think it's higher than the likes of, say, for example, Stephen Welsh, your Mike Nawrowskis. That's the sort of player that you want to see come through at Celtic. An academy graduate, 6'4", 6'5", looks every inch that. He looks like a tall specimen in that back line. No nonsense. There was a tiny bit of nonsense at the start where it was like you've been a wee bit too lackadaisical on the ball, but he shook that away. It's just all about concentration with him. From that point onwards, he was trying to make things happen, but he knew that when there was a slight chance that maybe Raith could get in, then he would just kick the ball out of play. I like that, no nonsense, and Brendan Rodgers will like that as well because you'd rather do that than give away a goal, like he did against Aston Villa. That'll be a learning experience for him. I'm glad that Brendan Rodgers didn't go through him too much for that mistake that he made in his press conference after the game. But I think you'll probably hear from him after this game saying, about how impressed he was, despite the opposition. Kept a clean sheet, did everything that he needed to do. His passing looked good, and he looks like one for the future and the present, which is great for Celtic.
He'll not make that mistake again, Ryan. He will rose edit because he's clearly learned. Do you know what? I'm not going to do that again. And as you say, that changes the narrative and perspective on him. And he looks a physical specimen, as you say, and did notice that. So good luck to him. That's what I say. And hopefully he can challenge. But as I say, I touched on him there, but I thought Schlupp was really good, Ryan. Schlupp, whatever we're calling him. Schlupp. Okay, we'll go Schlupp then. We'll do that. But I just looked at somebody and I thought, there's experience for you there. Somebody in there, and I thought he was very composed. He had a great engine and he looked purposeful, Ryan. And somebody who was determined to show everybody that he can play. And we both touched upon this, but he is playing for his future, whether that be at Celtic or elsewhere. So he is going to use this as a showcase for his talent to say, right, and if Celtic don't want him, then somebody else maybe think, do you know what? There's experience there, there's a wise head on all shoulders there. But I liked what he brought today. I really did.
I think he passes the eye test in terms of what you want from a left back. Not the smallest left back in the world. I thought he was a bit taller from watching videos of him in the past. But he's 5'10", 5'11", so he's definitely a couple of inches taller than Taylor, and you see that on the pitch. He likes a header. He likes moving. He wants to get to the byline and put crosses into the box. I like what he brings. He brings experience to that back line as well. There was a bit of a... Ralston's got over 100 games for Celtic. Scales has got that too. But you've got Dane Murray, who's only played a handful of games for Celtic. So to bring that experience in while bringing rotation to the team as well was brilliant to see. I thought Ralston improved as the game went on. I thought there was a couple of slack moments in the first half, but that ball I believe it was Ralston that put the ball into Yang. It was an absolutely beautiful ball, and one that was begging to be attacked by the South Korean, and he did do that. So overall, for a rotated back line, the fact that they they kept a clean sheet was absolutely brilliant to see, given the rotation that was made. Sorry if you can hear a wee bit of background noise.
That's all right. It's fine. It's all good. Yeah. And then you've obviously touched on as well, but yeah, Luke McCowan can do no wrong in a Celtic jersey, can he? He's just like, he has that link, man. He's just having the time of his life playing for Celtic, isn't he? Whenever he gets minutes.
Mm-hmm. But he's not, and it's important that we hammer down this point, and I know you and I don't think like this, but maybe other people do. The fact that he's just a Celtic fan that's came through the last day of the transfer window, came from Dundee. He deserves to be at Celtic on merit because his performances are showing that. I love what he brings to these games. In a game with rotation, he'll be happy with his lot at the moment. Yes, he'll have aspirations of playing more football for Celtic in the coming years, but he'll be happy that he's knocking on the door with the fact that Engels, Hatate, Bernardo, Callum McGregor are there. The fact that he's in amongst that is testament to how well he's done to get to this position as a professional footballer. And he was Celtic's best midfielder by some distance today, in my opinion. So he deserves all the credit that's coming his way.
He's also shown that he's learning as well under the manager.
He's getting better under Rodgers.
And we were told this boy can play football and then some, but he's getting better. And again, we go back to that. And as I said before, and I'll say it again, it's the elite level of the manager he's working under. He improves everybody, he improves every player. Now, Luke McCowan was already a very good player when he went to Celtic. He is now becoming a better player, and you can see that. The likes of today, there was no slacking off that, it's just Raith Rovers, it's going to be easy. It turned out to be easy for Celtic, but he was involved in everything that was good about Celtic today.
Yeah, he was. I could spend a long time talking about how good McCowan was today, to be honest. He just passes, like I said about Jeffrey Schlupp, he passes the eye test. Everything he does, that first touch rarely ever goes back the way. It's always looking to go forward. He's given that licence by Brendan Rodgers, who is improving him. You can tell that player is slowly, but not slowly at all, actually, that's the wrong word to use. He's just steadily getting better under the manager. It's the best manager that he's worked under, and you can see those man management skills that are just rubbing off of him, playing alongside Callum McGregor, Hatate, Bernardo, Engels. All of their skills will be rubbing off on him, and he's all about improvement, continuous improvement. That is the main message that people have been telling me from learning about Luke McCowan in his past, what he's had to go through as a semi-professional breaking into professional football, the side jobs that he's had to do to fund his career, and now he's at the top level in Scottish football. He's playing for the best team in Scotland, and he deserves to be there, Tony. He isn't a competition winner. He deserves to be in Celtic's team on merit, and there is a reason why Rodgers keeps on picking him, whether he's coming off the bench or starting games. It's because he trusts him.
The great thing is, Ryan, that you saw it yourself, and I agree with Big Dom's comment here. Just show that. The whole of the Celtic squad is competing for the shirt, which is fantastic management from Brendan. That's exactly what it is. They don't want to miss football matches now. Everybody wants to be in that starting 11. And speaking of that, here's one from Curly's LBBS, if I can find it. Would you start Sloop on Wednesday or Slop on Wednesday?
No, I'd play Greg Taylor on Wednesday. Okay. Although Schlupp's a good player to bring on, especially in the second half. You've also got that backup with Scales. Scales has been deployed quite recently at left back in a number of games. So you've got that for defensive height. For me, well, it actually might be, because if you're thinking about if you think about the players that Celtic will face, and you're looking at the fullbacks that Bayern Munich have got, you've got Joshua Kimmich, who can play in the midfield as well. Yep. You've also got Alphonso Davies. It looks as if Alistair Johnson will probably play against his Canadian teammate. He'll know all about Fonzie Davies. It's going to be an interesting one. But for me, personally, despite Schlupp coming in and playing 2 games, getting his first start today, I'd still give the jersey, or the yellow jersey, the green and white jersey, to Greg Taylor at this moment in time.
I think Greg will start. I'm convinced that I was just playing devil's advocate there, because it's a valid enough question.
Are we toast, keeping me on my toes?
It's a valid enough question. just throwing it out there, putting you in the spot. But anything else impressed you today, Ryan? You were there. How were the fans? The fans sounded as if they were in good voice the whole game.
Do you know, for what it was, and I've spoken about this earlier on in the broadcast, saying that it could have been quite a muted atmosphere. But I think the subs that came onto the game, in turn, added the decibels. The decibels went up again. The subs that were coming off, Yang got a lovely ovation when he came off the pitch. Bernardo got a nice ovation when he came off the pitch due to injury. A bit premature, but, it is what it is. With Jota coming on, it's quite amazing. Like he is the star attraction. I know he didn't have a lot of touches on the ball when he came on, but when he's making his way onto the pitch off the bench, the decibel levels, they rise, and there's that excitement. He is the main attraction. He is the reason why a lot of people will come to Celtic games, especially younger people as well. There was two younger supporters behind me that were screaming for Jota to come on after about the 20th minute. I was like, just enjoy the Yang performance at this point. But no, they wanted Jota. They had the big Portugal flags as well. So he's definitely a draw. He's a hero for the Celtic fans to adore again. And delighted to see him back. But there's so many heroes in this team, from Scottish heroes like Luke McCowan to Daizen Maeda, who's one of the last of that Japanese contingent alongside Hatate. Then you've got the new and returning heroes like Jota. There's so many players to idolise if you're a Celtic supporter at the moment, and that's good, because in turn that will sell merchandise as well for the club.
And Jota showed he was human, Ryan. He must control the ball at one point. He put it out of the park. I mean, what's going on? I
think there was calls for Yang to come back on the park after that.
he was laughing himself because the cameras caught it. He's annoyed at himself, but he did laugh. There was
a lovely moment when Yang scored, and I'm going back to this goal again because I think it was my favourite goal of the evening because of the way it was made from Ralston. Great ball in on the half volley, first time from Yang. The first player to go and celebrate with Yang was a sub, and that was Jota, who was training just at the side where he put that ball in the back of the net. I thought that was a lovely moment as well, and a player that's been getting a lot of criticism, a lot of it fair as well due to his performances. I think he deserved that nice moment today, and maybe it's something that he can work on going to the future. Rodgers keeps on playing him, so he must be doing something in training to get these opportunities.
It has to be. He has to use that as a platform to build on, Ryan, though, because he has, as you say, been taking a bit of stick, and rightly so. Mm-hmm. But I think today, cracking goal that he scored, a couple of assists. You have to take confidence from that. You have to be able to, move on from that and then produce it against Scottish Premiership opposition, or if you get minutes on Wednesday night, you have to be able to, be confident and go and take the game to the opposition, which is just going to ratchet up several notches. Well, not we carried on by today in terms of what's happening on Wednesday night, but it puts you in fine fettle heading into Wednesday night, Ryan. That's what you want.
It was almost like a flash forward with a team. You're playing against a team that will play in all in red. You're playing a team that were all in red today in Raith Rovers. The quality level will go up just ever so slightly when Bayern come to town on Wednesday night, but Wednesday night under the lights at Celtic Park, a Champions League knockout game. I know you're in the playoffs. It's a chance to get in the last 16. Just stay in the tie in the first game. Maybe get a goal or two if you can. It's difficult opposition, but stranger things have happened at Celtic Park. That's for sure.
That's exactly, yeah. And, you know what it's like. That place does strange things to players, Ryan, on Champions League occasions. The music, when it kicks in and just everybody in unison singing from the same hymn sheet, it's a wonderful amphitheatre. We've spoken about it before, and how Celtic usually rise to the occasion on these big nights.
Yeah, that's 11 goals in 2 games that Celtic have scored. It seems as if the feel-good factor is back after that slight disappointment at the way the transfer window ended up. It's good that negative energy that was maybe online hasn't transferred onto the pitch and into the stadium, because it feels like the supporters are really there with the team as well. There seems to be a unison between the players on the pitch and the spectators and the manager off of it on the touchline. It feels like a really good place to be at the moment. This run of home games that Celtic have came at the best possible time, because it's a chance to really have that rallying cry from the home supporters back onto the players, and vice versa. The players bringing that to the fans. Wednesday brings a whole different atmosphere, a whole different test. But it's Celtic at home in the Champions League. Let's see what transpires on Wednesday night.
I also think as well, fair play to the manager, Ryan. He shrugged aside his personal disappointment for the good of the team, and it hasn't affected him. There's been no hangover from the possible negativity of the transfer window not signing a striker. They've scored 11 goals in the past 2 games.
That was maturity, Tony, from the manager.
Yeah, exactly. And he made his point. He got it across in the preview of the game the other day. Should we have signed a striker? Yeah, we should have. We didn't. We move on. But his job is to work with the players that they have, which he's doing, and obviously rotated the players today again for a game that with Wednesday night in mind. So that for me is, it's top class management, and also there's been no lingering effect. Nobody has had anything negative to say after Wednesday night and today, and long may that continue, Ryan.
Yeah, absolutely. They might not sign a striker in the summer, depending on how Daizen Maeda goes. The board might say, right, they don't need a striker. Like Daizen Maeda, who can score goals through the middle, natural goal scorer. Just feel like the club's in a really good place at the moment, Tony. It's a real. These last 2 games at home have been really, really good for the confidence levels heading into that Bayern Munich game. I think the Raith Rovers game came at the perfect time. Good support as well from the Raith Rovers fans. Admittedly, they did get quiet as the goals started going in for Celtic, but they did bring a hefty crowd, and I'm sure the same will be the case on Wednesday once Bavaria descends upon Glasgow, and you'll certainly hear their fans. Some of the most passionate fans that you'll ever see. German fans just in general, but even more so the Bayern Munich fans. Just looking forward to that. I feel like the club's in a good place at the moment. The manager seems to be in a good place, and it's a good time to be covering Celtic at the moment.
Very much so, and also it's there's just so much to look forward to, isn't there, Ryan? You've got the quarter-final draw coming up. You've got a wonderful occasion on Wednesday night, and then obviously the return. And you just, as you said, you just hope to stay in the tie for the away leg. I think that's what Celtic's MO is on Wednesday night. That's their mission, and I'm sure Brendan Rodgers and his players will accept that and say just stay in the tie, or if they can, build a lead to take to Germany and see where it takes them. But as a tall order, will not be carried on by our formidable opposition. And also, Ryan, they've got the added caveat that the Champions League finals in the Allianz Arena this year. So that'll be a must for them to qualify for the final, let alone
win
it.
The last time that happened in terms of Munich was back in 2012 when Chelsea beat Bayern Munich at the Allianz Arena. Yeah.
Despite being the better team. And the Bayern Munich have had a habit of losing in finals, despite being the better team. They lost to Manchester United as well in the Nou Camp when they were the better team too. So they'll be mindful of these things. But again, you can only play who you're drawn against, and Celtic against Bayern's just whets the appetite, doesn't it? Is that, as you say, that feel good factor that's just coursing in to the remaining games in the season, because there's so much to play for. Celtic are still on course for the domestic treble, of course, and also a healthy lead in the Scottish Premiership at the top of the table. But for me, I don't know about you, but the games can't come quick enough now, Ryan. I'm enjoying what Celtic are, the way Celtic are playing at the minute, and what Brendan Rodgers and his team are serving up.
You think of the summer months when you're itching for pre-season games to come around. It's these moments now that you enjoy so much. These games coming every 3-4 days for Celtic. During the summer, you wait for these moments. You've just got to enjoy them while you're at it. You're going into the Champions League. You're representing Scotland in the Champions League. It's a big moment for Celtic, big moment for Brendan Rodgers. He'll be wanting a good result in the first leg and seeing what he can do in the Allianz Arena. But, domestically, they've done their job. They've got through to the next round of the Scottish Cup. They're now 13 points clear at the top of the table. By all accounts, it looks as if the league is probably over, barring an almighty collapse that I just do not see coming from this team. I actually see Celtic extending that before the month's out. Pretty good place to be in. Now all focus can go on to Europe against Bayern Munich. It's a tall order. They're a good side, a good manager under Vincent Kompany, a good young manager that's making his way. 8 points clear, I believe, at the top of the Bundesliga as well. Two teams that are doing really, really well on the domestic front. Let's see what happens when the two collide on Wednesday night.
As the manager's fond of saying, Ryan, this is when Celtic come alive. Come alive.
He said that the other day as well.
Yeah.
He likes that. That's his catchphrase.
Yeah, he does like that. Come alive on Wednesday night. No perfect occasion to do that. But yeah, he's very much aware of this stage of the season, the kind of the home straight, as you would maybe look at it. And I think it's been worked out the Celtic way. Certainly put up a piece on the website that Celtic were 8 games away from winning the title if they win all their games. So that's something that you aim for. You challenge your players, go and win those 8 games. Obviously, a Rangers game's in amongst them as well. Not looking too far ahead, but that's a challenge for the players. He'll be challenging them to go and make a fist of it against Bayern Munich. You say, come alive in these moments. This is what you play for a club like Celtic for, to live these moments. And I can't wait. I don't know about you, but Wednesday can't come quick enough for me.
Yeah, I'm just looking forward to the next game. To be honest, it's that I think we'll have plenty of preview. I know that you've spoke to Derek Ray as well, which will be coming out in the next couple of days on the Celtic Way YouTube page. It's an exciting game. Two massive teams, biggest team in Scotland playing against the biggest team in Germany. The two have got a storied history playing against each other. Looking forward to seeing the next iteration of this game between the two teams. And yeah, it should be a great occasion for all involved. Yeah,
and without any spoilers, Derek Ray did say if Bayern have a weakness, it's in their defence. So I was like, yes. So there you go. Take what you want from that. But we shall see. Hopefully Celtic can exploit any weaknesses that Bayern possibly do have in their defence on Wednesday. But no, I was impressed today, Ryan. I thought Celtic were really clinical and professional today, despite the fact the manager made 9 changes. Only Callum McGregor and Daizen Maeda were in the team from the 11 that beat Dundee 6-0 in midweek. So excellent stuff. I thought really, again, the last couple of games I've really enjoyed, Ryan. Really enjoyed the quality on display in some of the goals, some of the football they played to get those goals as well. So putting a smile on everybody's face. Can't say fairer than that.
No, absolutely. Smiles on faces, through to the next round, doing well in the league. Let's see what they can do in Europe now. But a pretty good position for Celtic to be in.
Excellent stuff. Well, I shall let you head back to your car and make your way home, fella. But thank you again for your stellar contribution. Thanks, everybody. Just short of 500 people joining us live on the after-match broadcast. We're trying to do them quicker after the games now, so we hope you're enjoying that fact that we're coming on as quickly as we can after the final whistle, as well as my instant analysis is up on the Celtic Way website, www.celticway.co.uk. If you want to have a read at that, Ryan's player ratings, if they're not up by now, they'll be going up soon, and there'll be the Q&A from Brendan Rodgers from his press conference when he addresses the media. So check it out, and also thank you to everybody who's subscribed. As you can see, ticker tape running along the bottom. We love subscriptions. Subscribe to the Celtic Way for the best dedicated Celtic coverage. That's all we ask. www.celticway.co.uk/subscribe. We thank everybody that has subscribed. You'll get, as you see there, transfer latest, in-depth analysis, comprehensive news and exclusive interviews, daily videos like this. You'll get notifications if you subscribe to the YouTube channel of when we're going live. It's all there, guys. www.celticway.co.uk/subscribe. Really appreciate it. Ryan, thank you so much. Hope you enjoyed it today.
Certainly did.
We shall be back on Monday to build up to the big one. It is huge. It's massive. It's Celtic versus Bayern Munich, the Champions League playoff round. Bring it on. That's what I say. So whatever you are, whatever you're doing, have a wonderful weekend. Take care, and we'll see you all soon. Ryan, thanks very much.
Cheers, guys.